All right. So now we're gonna talk about the paddle. Okay. First things first, though. Before we talk about the paddle, just to make things more concrete, we're gonna learn how to draw squares in processing. So we've done circles. Now we're gonna learn how to draw squares. And squares are pretty straightforward. Uh, and by squares, I mean rectangles. We're actually going to learn how to draw rectangles because the paddle is a rectangle. Um, so the way a rectangle works is actually a lot like the way the processing screen works. Your position of your rectangle is the top left. All right. So this might be, I don't know, x equals 23 if it's 23 over, right? And it might be y equals 32 if it's 32 down, right? And that would be where the top left corner of our rectangle is. So what the rectangle is going to take and it's a function called rect, and you can look it up in the processing. And I actually encourage you to look it up in the processing documentation. There's actually two representations of a rectangle. We're going to use this one because it's the default one in processing. There's another one that some students find easier, and so you can look at that, and that puts the rectangle in the middle, a lot like the circle. But we'll go with this one for now. And so the rectangle takes an x position, a y position, a width, and a height. Okay? So actually kind of similar, except for the center point, it's taking in an x position and a y position. All right, so what would that mean in this case? Well, if I said something like rect 2332, that would put our top left corner of the rectangle at 2332. And then if I said I want a width of 10 and a height of 20, what that would do is it would, well, maybe that's something for the reader, okay? So what are going to be the dimensions of this thing, okay? I mean, not the dimensions, you know the dimensions, but what are going to be each one of these points if this point is x equals 23 and y equals 32, okay? We'll do a quick drawing and then we'll come back and we'll talk more about your new friend rect.